Right then, guys. So welcome to another series of Lockdown Learning, and I'm absolutely thrilled to announce today's guest on Zoom. We've got the superstar influencer, easy for me to say, himself, Peter Finch. Welcome, Pete.
Hey, how are we doing, mate? You okay?
Yes, mate. Yeah, it's absolutely. It's great to have you on board, and I've got to say, what a story so far.
What a story so far.
What a story so far for you I'm talking about here.
Well, yeah, thank you very much. I appreciate that. I mean, hopefully it's got a happy ending. Hopefully this story being written does end up with me kissing a frog and meeting a prince. No, that's not the right one, is it? But something like that.
Slightly concerned now, bud.
Hey, listen, whatever. If you've not tried it,
don't knock it. Right? Okay. So, swiftly moving on.
It's getting quite late. I was up quite early. I'm like descending slowly into madness. So this might be a slightly surreal conversation I think we're about to have.
You've had a bit busy few weeks as well. I'll let you off. Right. So, Pete, we just done a bit of a catch up there, just off camera. It's great to speak with you again. It's been a long time. So lots of the guys watching this won't know, and we're going to learn a lot more about Peter Finch and kind of the rise to the top. And it all started up in Preston, I guess. But you and I spent quite a bit of time together back in the day, didn't we? In sunny Shropshire.
Yeah, a couple of years there, and
the lovely Lilleshall.
Yeah, I completed because I started at the Shropshire and then moved over Lilleshall. I think it was my second year, I want to say, PJ, and then finished up.
2008 it was. I think 2008, 2009 we were together at Lilleshall. Yeah.
Yeah, and then finished up my training at Lilleshall, and then left the PJ at Lilleshall as well. It was quite an eventful few years that.
So I think we're chatting off camera. So I was the club pro at Lilleshall. Pete came on board as an assistant, as my assistant there, and we had some great times. I think both of us it was a massive learning curve. I've got to say, Pete, you never let me down as an assistant professional. I think you were only a couple of minutes late, but you're always there.
I remember one time I was like a whole morning late. I remember that. Rob's been exceptionally nice. I was a crap assistant. Like I would have fired me long before I actually left. That was terrible. Oh no, I look back at Lilleshall like with really, really fond memories, apart from me being pretty useless as an assistant.
We see, I saw the good in you, and I was actually being kind there. Yeah, you wasn't the best, mate, but the boy's done good. Now I could see the potential in you.
I always have good intentions. I always have good intentions.
We just say chatting off camera there, some fond memories, and too many stories, and a lot of stories there we probably won't go into. But nevertheless,
nothing's off limit, Rob. You bring up whatever you want.
Happy days. So we won't talk. No, we won't. Let's swiftly moving on. So Peter Finch, the influencer. So I remember one of our last conversations, because at Lilleshall, so you came to a crossroads. What we're going to do, and I think like most of us there, we need to experience it before we find our pathway. And I remember as if it was yesterday, the conversation you and I had must have been 2009. And we're talking about the weird and crazy world of Facebook. And I think your comment back then was, you haven't got a Scooby-Doo about Facebook, and it completely blows your mind. Well, how things have changed, mate, eh?
Indeed, yeah. Well, I mean, I still don't really understand it. I don't like. I just want to make sure everyone's aware of this. Like, generally, I have gone through life not understanding anything that's going on. Just diving into it, and sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. And I think the more things I try, the more things I try, obviously I'm going to have lots of failures, but I'll have some wins as well. So that's the kind of attitude I'm going into most things with at the moment. But yeah, I mean, Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, Instagram, yeah, they're all so different, and they're always changing all the time as well. So trying to keep abreast of all those changes and trying to keep on top of everything, it's not easy. It's tricky.
Mm-hmm.
But
Well, it's good attitude though, pal. It's certainly done. You've done okay.
No, it's going all right. It's going all right. I can't complain. I can't complain.
You've done all right. So just before the kind of social boom and those lazy days in Assistant Pro, you got your PGA qualification, and you decided that at the time perhaps coaching retail wasn't exactly for yourself. Probably from seeing me spending all those hours out in the range, coming back in, soaking wet and looking pretty miserable. So you actually got out of golf to actually go and become a road reporter for the local journal, didn't you?
Yeah. So basically, you drove me out of golf. Is the way that I remember it personally. And then I just wanted to. I kind of felt that certainly in a golf club environment, it's not somewhere that I would. I don't know what it's going to be like in the future, but certainly back then, it just wasn't me. Like, selling crested sweaters. It just didn't feel right. So I wanted to try something different, always with the intention that I would probably come back around to golf, but I just wanted to experience something else. So, got my journo qualifications, and then started working for Express and Star, Shropshire Star, and the associated papers. And two and a bit years at that before it almost drove me off the edge, and then got back into golf coaching after that.
And you came back.
Yeah, but I'm glad I did it. I'm really glad I did it. I think anyone who's involved in golf should always try and do, like, even if it's a little bit of time, just try and do some other job and try and see what else is out there. Because I think you become, not everyone's like this obviously, but I would have certainly been like this, of being kind of a slightly miserable kind of club pro, not actually appreciating like what an amazing situation it is if you're involved within golf. Yeah. Like, once you go out into the real world, and I'm sure you know what I mean by that, but once you go out into the real world and see what other people are doing and working, and you understand how lucky you are if you're involved in golf. Yeah, for sure. And I look back and we've just reminisced on a few of those days at lovely Lilleshall, and but as you say, it's so interesting. There's so many of my friends and colleagues have done exactly the same thing as yourself, got out of the game and then realized just how much they missed it. Steve Thomas, one of the coaches at Three Hammers now, did exactly the same thing. So then you you came back. Is the return of the Finch. The beard went slightly out of control. I think last time I saw you, then it was well-groomed man, and then he thought, right. Yeah, that was in the journo days, wasn't it? God, yeah, full beard, big beard gut. I kind of still got that, to be fair. But the beard, I gotta say, mate. Yeah, that was proper. Well, that's what happens when you just sit behind the desk all day, like not talking to anybody in person. You just lose control. It doesn't matter anymore. Still loving coffee, yeah. You what? Sorry. Still loving your coffee. Oh, mate, yeah, absolutely. Crikey, still what fuels me. I mean, the addiction did start there. But yeah, came back from that, got a job at Stone Driving Range, and then from there, just wanted to move back up north, from Preston originally, and kind of wanted to get a little bit closer to the family and a little bit closer to some of my old friends. And then opportunity came up in Manchester to coach, so yeah, just took it, and it was, it was just a lucky decision. It was just timing. If I didn't make that move then, I just don't know. I really don't know what I'll be doing now. Absolutely no idea. So up in Manchester, that was at the Trafford Centre, right? Yeah, Trafford Golf Centre. Yeah. It's like a crazy busy range. Yeah, crazy busy. Obviously not as busy as the wonderful Three Hammers, but it was pretty intense. So back then, you were building up your reputation as a coach, and I know that you were. Obviously, then you started working with Rick, who at the time I think was I think you said he was the busiest coach there at the time, and then he was quite inquisitive of the amount of time he was actually spending on his YouTube videos. Is that right? Yeah, I mean it was simple really. It was a case that he'd been doing YouTube for like a year and a half, and he was the busiest coach, and there was a referral scheme going on at the centre where basically when new clients came in, they got allocated to coaches in order. unless you had someone come in who was basically looking for you, and then they obviously got put in your diary, and they always had like a little hashtag next to the name on the system. And it was quite clear that Rick had by far the most people coming in for lessons with him that weren't being recommended. And the only thing that he was doing different was YouTube videos.
Right.
And it became apparent pretty quickly that if I wanted to market myself as a coach and I wanted to let people know that I was there and what I was doing, this was a great way to do it. So just started making coaching videos just on my iPad, and it obviously it took a little bit of time to get going, but then once it did get going, it was just it was a bit of a snowball effect.
So can you remember what was that first video that kind of made a big difference to Pete Finch then?
Freaking hell. Oddly enough, the second video I put out when back then certainly it was pretty viral. I think I got like 700, 800,000 views, and it was a horrendous, terrible video on trick shots. Like truly crap. Like just it's just like really not good. I've actually, that video now privatized. You won't be able to find it on YouTube.
That's my next question though. Can we still see that? Can we actually see it?
Honestly, I was ashamed. I was basically until
send it through to me later, yeah?
Yeah, I will. Yeah. until last year, maybe year before, that was like my most viewed video. And I just made a promise to myself. I said, when that gets overtaken by another video, then it's gone. It's privatized. No one's seeing that again. It's terrible. Awful. But I think the first video we did was just like a chipping video, and because it was all coaching. Like the first videos were all coaching because that's the only thing I knew.
Yeah.
Like I didn't know anything. I didn't know anything about making videos, so I just wanted to stick to what I knew, like coaching. I would just give coaching advice. That is the box I'm going to sit in, and then it's kind of expanded from there. But yeah, still very much a coach at heart.
Cool, because it's interesting. It's one of the questions we got coming up there. You're doing a lot. There's so much of a mix now with your product reviews and your battles and things like that. So with regards to the videos, when you look back, what was your favorite video that you've recorded? Not necessarily the one that's done the best. For you, what was the most enjoyable?
Oh, I think probably the ones which are the most enjoyable for me are probably the travel videos. Like they don't, like generally, as far as if you're looking at it from a pure analytical standpoint, like the travel videos don't do as well as say the equipment videos or some of the playing videos potentially. But with the travel aspect of what I'm doing, I get to go to like so many amazing places. And a couple of years ago, I got to go to Jordan. Right. And there was a new golf course open there. It's such a random little place. So Jordan, where it's situated, it's next to Israel, and they've got an okay relationship, but I don't think they're the best of friends. And like literally at the back of the golf course, you've got like this bit of a no man's land, and then you've got these huge, like massive fences where the border of Israel is, right, like with watchtowers and machine guns and all kind of jazz going on. And then just to the side of that, you got the Red Sea, and you got basically like a split border basically down the Red Sea. And then you've got like all these other countries so tightly packed into that area. It's absolutely crazy. And it's one of those places where it's got so much history and it's got so much diversity and culture. It's an amazing place. And that was before, I'd even hit a golf ball. Like all that was coming at me. And I was like, wow, this is like a real adventure. We got to go swimming in the Red Sea, got to go snorkeling around the reefs, got to go to Petra, which if you don't know what that is, just Google it. It's like one of the 7 wonders of the ancient world. And we got to go around that, and it was all guided tours because the people who got us over there wanted to show everything off.
So a bit of a jolly then, yeah.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, I mean, it's one of those things where it confuses me because when I'm over there, and I can't help but smile when I'm saying it, because when I'm over there and doing all the filming and all the rest of it, it is pretty labor intensive. It does take a lot of time. It's quite hard work. This comes back to the whole, I understand how lucky I am because of the stuff that I've done in the past, and the fact that I can call it work, it is ridiculous, but it's amazing at the same time. So those Like those travel videos really stand out to me because again, it's that thing that, like, 7 years ago, whenever it was when I moved back up here, I wouldn't have ever envisaged doing any of this. So it's kind of real privilege, to be honest.
The power of social media, pal.
Hey, just get yourself a camera.
Get yourself a camera.
You'd be fine with your pretty face. You can go far, mate.
I'm working on it, mate. Working on it. So favorite was a Jolly in Jordan. So what about to date your best performing video? So what? I've got to dig through the archive. I've had a good look for the channel. There's so much on there, I've got to say, mate. And you do love a thumbnail, don't you?
Oh, thumbnail it's the most important part of the video. You could record an absolutely trash video, but if the thumbnail's killer, you're on a winner.
Right. No.
Most important, honestly, like it's literally, I would say 50% of the video, the thumbnail.
Right, I'm on that, mate. Just making a little note now as we speak. Right, cool.
I think I've got a few. I think I've got a few approaching 1 million now. So there's a few kind of over, kind of maybe mid 950s, something like that.
Blasé there, just a few approaching 1 million.
Well, it's a weird thing, really, because to be honest, by this point, I would have expected to have a few more. Like my views are quite strange, and I rarely have a video, maybe once a month, that kind of really spikes and gets a lot of views. But a lot of my stuff tends to grow like really well and really gradually over time, which is great. I mean, because all that means I can just leave it in the background and it just keeps ticking over, and more people see it, more people kind of get involved with what I'm doing. So it's good to get. It's going to be good to get that first 1 million video. I'm not going to lie, but the consistency of what we do now is it makes those more and more likely. I think when that first one ticks over, I probably expect to have quite a few more. You
just mentioned the we word there, didn't you? So Peter Finch, the assistant pro, Peter Finch, the journalist. Now Peter Finch, the superstar influencer, is now. There's got to be a big Team Finch there, isn't there?
So, well, I took 2 people on in February last year. So those are the first. Before that point, I had my brother-in-law, who's an editor and videographer. So I used him from time to time, but pretty much all of it I was just doing on my Todd. So kind of brought in a couple of people in February 2020. Perfect timing to hire new people, that was. But it kind of works out. It worked out well.
Lockdown learning.
Yeah, it was really good in a way, because what it did is it threw me into a new situation and the guys into a new situation when potentially that could have been one of the, like, it could have been a terrible mistake. Like, it could have been one of the hardest things to do at that time, to make golf videos when you couldn't play golf. Like, that's not an ideal situation.
Yeah, no, I'm with you.
But we managed to get, like, the 2 lads I brought on really, really good, really switched on. Like, we managed to make it through that kind of particular period from a video standpoint. And then when we could get on the golf course again, yeah, it was brilliant. And we were in that position, and everyone was in that position where golf went through that massive boom. And hopefully, out of all the terrible stuff that's been going on, that could be a thing for our game, coming out of this lockdown again, potentially into the spring.
Yeah.
Hopefully those golfers who were there last year will continue to be there again.
Definitely. I mean, I speak for many, but certainly at the Three Hammers there, it's always been a busy place, but it just went to the extreme. Yeah, literally queues and queues of people waiting to hit golf balls. So hopefully a little bit of that spring in the air, that smell of cut grass. People will be literally chomping at the bit to get back into it again. And just it's what it's been an absolute horrific time, hasn't it? But it's massively that boost what the game of golf needs. So
it's one of those sports which is, it's very unique in the sense that it is very possible to socially distance. Like, there's no,
especially when playing with you. Sorry.
Well, you mean ahead?
Ahead, yeah, absolutely, yeah.
I mean,
send it out back in the day, couldn't you?
You are, sorry, what?
You could also send it out back in the day. You've gone to another level now.
Well, I've started to eat healthy, look after my body, all the rest of it. I'm not just started swinging harder. It's not too complicated.
I'll tell you what, bud. I don't know if you can see this at the minute. If I just attempt can you see my screen at the moment?
Rob Bluck has started to share his screen.
Okay, so let's see. If we can, here we go. Look at this one.
Oh, wow. Is that Trilby?
Yeah, look at that.
Oh, wow.
You've always been a stylish kind of guy. And yeah, this was, and yeah, we touched on it there, your love for hitting a driver. Look at this. I think we've got it. Here we go. Look at this.
Whoa.
This was 2009, fourth tee, fourth tee at Lilleshall Hall there.
Tightest tee shot in the world.
Yeah.
God. Wow.
Here we go. Look at that. Well, you had it, mate, and yeah, still got it.
I never had it, and I'm still searching for it. I think is the way to say it.
But no, cool. I mean, yeah, joking aside, back in the day, you'd certainly give it a good ride. And looking at some of the vids of late as well, and yeah, you're sending it now, aren't you?
Yeah. Well, I might as well. I've when you've got a lack of skill, just more power.
Just give it a whack.
More power. I'm basically like an old American muscle car now. Like I can't actually turn corners, but just keep putting more power in, and hopefully something will work.
Right. Love it, mate. With regards to, you touched up on there on your videos and some of the best performing ones. It's interesting. I know you just come back from Dubai. You spent the start of the year out there. It's all right for some. Some great reviews that you've been doing out there on some of the products, which have already had some amazing traction. Also, as well, there's a bit of a mixture there, wasn't there? Reviews and battles as well. So with that in mind, you said yourself when you started there, it was very much coaching was your comfort zone in front of the camera. Then it's kind of really gone from there with the actual product reviews. But it's also must be super cool there to spend some time with some of the tour pros and getting involved in some of the battles. So for you, what actually works best for you with the actual views, and what would you say is at the three there?
I mean, it's difficult to tell in advance. I think sometimes you do a video and it's going to be a good one. But then there's other times you do a video, you think it's great, and nobody watches. With the challenges with the tour pros, and again, this probably shows how far kind of things have changed since when I started. Like with Dubai, we were over there with like the tour event, so European tour event, Dubai Desert Classic, and we were out there as basically like a media partner.
Mm-hmm.
So not just out there basically making videos, but kind of out there pre-planning the event, getting our time allocated, talking through the ideas, how those videos are going to be shot, how they were going to be basically presented, who we're going to be doing them with, their release dates, and how it's going to be kind of advertised across social media, all these different things. It was like a proper, production thing.
Mm-hmm.
And, that's the type of thing that we're starting to do a little bit more now. And again, that's like, it's a million miles away from recording some terrible chipping video on my iPad in deepest, darkest Manchester at 6 a.m. So like the opportunity to get to film with the tour pros and to get to do those videos is brilliant. And it's just like, for me still, and I hope it will always be this way, it's just an amazing kind of treat. Like, we've got you half an hour with Henrik Stenson in the morning to do that challenge. Is that okay? Yeah, it's all right. Yeah, okay, yeah, like fine.
When you looked at it there was some tight lies there, weren't there? Some of the wedge shots over the water.
Oh my bloody God. Seriously, like I've been fatting my wedges as well. And then like just before the water, it's like really tight and it's got a tiny, tiny downslope. So like the first shot of the day and you're like, oh God, like what is going to happen here? And then the further and further we got back, like it's a weird like fairway. It's a little bit of a camber from left to right. So you're kind of hitting onto the downslope from the tee. It's like a dogleg right to left. And then like you start to get to 180, 170. And I've just been hitting balls off mats for 3 months. And then all of a sudden you're on like probably stimping 9 on the fairway.
On the fairway, yeah.
And you've got like a 4-iron in your hand. You're like, God, why me? Why am I here?
And you're there with Henrik Stenson.
And yeah, with Henry's like looking over like. It's like, why can't we do a putting challenge? You know, it was great. I mean, it's the thing. It's such good fun to actually make those videos as well. I mean, again, like there's no real, you know, unless my golf improves to an incredible point, you know, there's no way that I'm going to be able to kind of tee it up with these guys apart from making videos.
That's with that in mind, mate, you've kind of just moved upon to a point which I would like to discuss with you. Over the last few years, you've ran the quest for the Open, which I've got to say, it's been great to see. You know, it brings me back many, I want to say, fond memories there of Open qualifying and perhaps sneaking through local, but failing miserably at final. But no, it's been great to see, and you continue with that this year. Is that right?
Yeah, still carrying it on. It's a great way of, because like with the Quest for the Open stuff, I mean, the goal of that is to basically put myself in a position to improve my own game to the point where I can hopefully get through Open qualifying and reach the Open, which is, you know, it's a very unique, a really unique event because it still has the Open qualifying kind of process. So theoretically, anybody could get in. Now, obviously, you need to be a decent golfer, but it's a great series to not only go for something, but also the main aspect for it, me, is the journey of trying to improve and actually what I'm learning. So when I go to see someone about my swing, and I made a commitment pretty early on that I wasn't going to work on my own game. I was just going to hand that over to other people. So when I film with them, when I get information off them, I can make videos about it, present that, and then hopefully people can learn as I'm learning as well. Because I think that's probably that's always the best way for me personally to learn. And I think the best way for most people to actually gain a new skill is through experience. So being able to talk to these coaches who are better than me and to understand what they know, and then to put it into a video, that's brilliant. You know, so even if I'm going to do it for the next couple of years, and even if it just flames out terribly, I'll know that I've still managed to get some really good content and really good videos out to people.
I think that's really important. I mean, it's one of my, we're all in golf because ultimately we love the game, and one of my biggest regrets now, and what I find, you know, I don't play. You know, I full-time golf coach running a very busy golf academy and young family. So I think, you know, what you do there, you know, my next goal now is, dare I say, kind of looking towards seniors. Well, yeah, it's look at you, big smile there. So yeah, it's no, fair play to you for doing that. I know my advice to anybody who's in this industry, you've got to give some time for, you know, up for your own golf game.
Yeah, it's obviously not easy. Like it's not an easy thing to do. Like when I was coaching full time, you know, I didn't really have kind of any time either. You know, and I'm not got like a young family or anything. So it's really hard to kind of do full-time job, work full-time in golf, and yet still play, which sounds ridiculous. It shouldn't be that way. But I think it's important because if you don't play, you lose your connection. Like you forget, like sometimes, about what actually goes into playing golf. And it certainly helped me become a better coach when I was playing again, because I could understand and empathize a little bit more with people who are coming in for lessons.
Right, Pete, I was going to go to some quick fire questions, and we got some quick questions there from some of our audience. So in true kind of three hammers fashion, we go through the quick fire questions. So first up, favorite golf course ever played?
Royal Aberdeen.
Royal Aberdeen, nice.
I was going to say St Andrews, but then thought it'd be quirky and different.
Royal Aberdeen, both quality golf courses. So favorite golf course on that bucket list of Peter Finch?
Well, I can't really say Augusta, can I? So I'll go Old Head.
Old Head, Kinsale. Yeah, lovely. I'm with you on that one. Favorite player?
Tiger.
Tiger. Yeah. Okay, he got there. I was going to say dead or alive, but you got there, so there was no question there. Tiger.
It's Tiger.
Okay, most memorable experience ever.
In golf?
In golf, out of golf, whatever.
I mean, the one that springs to mind straight away is the BMW Celebrity Pro-Am. Played in that a few years ago.
That was pretty cool, wasn't it?
That was class. That was amazing.
On the tee, Peter Finch.
Honestly, blowing out of my arse. It was great. It was amazing.
Brilliant. Cool. Have you ever been starstruck?
Maybe the first time we filmed with a tour pro, filmed with Shane Lowry.
Okay. What a short game he's got, by the way.
Yeah, really good. He was top lad, but that was the first time we filmed with the tour pro, and that was a bit like, oh, don't know what we're doing. That was good.
Quality. Shane Lowry, legend. Okay, who's got more game, DJ or Brooks?
Oh, DJ.
DJ. Yeah. Okay.
Unbelievable. By the way, he's unbelievable. DJ. Yeah. You see him on TV and you think, wow, that is a good player, but he's unbelievable. He is so good.
Another level.
Oh, completely different level. Like he should have won 3 times the many tournaments as he has. Unbelievable. And
a nice fella as well.
Just like he's quite refreshing in the sense that he's just he is who you see.
Mm-hmm.
Like he's just a big, languid, chilled out dude who's just absolutely awesome at golf.
Henrik or Wallace?
Ooh, let's go Henrik.
Henrik.
She's got sunglasses. It's the differentiating factor.
Open champion.
Open champion, yeah.
Open champion. Yeah, the Iceman. Here we go then. Here's one for you. Piers or Andy?
Oh, Andy. Oh. Whitwoo.
Whitwoo. There we go. It's out there. He said it. He said it. Okay, then who's got the best banter in the social influencing world?
Best bants.
Who's got the best bants, Pete? Come on.
Oh God. Who has the best bants, or who thinks they've got the best bants?
Who? Okay. Either.
That's a different question. You know, I don't want to sit like too much on the fence with this, but if I'm being honest with you, like everyone who I've collabed with, everyone who I've filmed with, and like this includes the tour pros as well, they've all been great. They've all been great. I would have been expected to run into like, you know, some big egos or like someone I didn't like so far, but it's just not happened. Like I wouldn't be able to tell you. It's like asking me to choose between my kids. Which I don't have.
I was going to say something you're not telling me. I know it's been a while, but yeah, keep that one quiet.
Well, not that I know of anyway.
So you've really sat on the fence there then.
Yeah.
Okay, can't sit on the fence this one. We ask everybody. Messi, you know, we love our footy at the Hammers. Messi or Ronaldo?
Oh, Messi. Yeah.
Yeah. Preston North End or United?
Come on, don't insult me with such a silly question. It's a Lily Whites all day long.
Whites all does. That's what I'm talking about.
The original Invincibles.
Yeah.
Not living on past glories at all. Founding member of the Football League.
He's off now, isn't he? He's off now.
God, I think actually we might be on. We're on TV tomorrow night. We're against Blackburn. Every time I've watched them on TV, they've been bloody dire. Oh,
well, don't you watch then? Don't you watch?
Honestly, I would always recommend people support the hometown team, but just try and make sure you're born in like Liverpool or Manchester or somewhere decent.
Just a few questions now, Pete. I know that you're on a strict time schedule, so there's a few questions now from our fans at the Hammers. So, what's the biggest challenge for you transitioning from coaching to presenting? Good question, this. This is from Andy.
I think confidence on camera, which it purely comes from practice. Mm-hmm. So I remember that first video I filmed. I remember very clearly. I went into the range when it opened at like 6, when they were like doing all the maintenance, just so no one could hear what I was doing, and so I could be alone, so no one could see. So I was that self-conscious, and it's still self-conscious now, like pulling out a camera and chatting to it, because it's weird. Like it's a strange thing to do, but it's more just practice and experience. Like there's no secret to it. There's not like a magic switch. It's just practicing. Same as anything, just practice.
The more you do it, the luckier you get.
Yeah, I suppose the only difference I made in the last couple of years is started to script out a little bit more what I want to say. Not so much as like a movie script, but more of a just bullet points that I need to make sure that I get in. And that's helped.
Right. Cool. Any plans for another YouTube golf day?
Well, I mean, the one that was a couple of years ago now, that was the one that Rick organised, and it was really good. But I think from his point of view, I think it did take a lot to like get sorted, and obviously pull kind of a load of people who make videos in from everywhere. So I think it'd be good. I think it'd be an amazing kind of event again. But it's just having someone to organise it, and I'm not that guy. Bloody hell, organising this call, Rob. I thought we were on R2 this afternoon. I'm not the man. I'm not the man to do this.
Yeah, mate, we're going back to assistant days now, aren't we? So
honestly, terrible. Some things never change.
Final question here. Great question. It was one from Ben Crawshaw. This one, Ben Crawshaw. What is your dream 4-ball? So you play in, or you could be caddying. So if you need to get the 4 of them in, you can get. Yeah, but what would be your dream 4-ball, Peter Finch?
Someone asked me this the other day. Actually, I think if I was going to go very golfy, like it'd be Tiger, obviously, and then if it's past or present, Snead, and then probably Hogan. Like those are the guys who I'd love to play with. Like I don't think I'd want a caddy. But to be honest, at the moment, like I just want to play with my mates and me dad. Really, like that right now, that'd be my dream 4-ball. To be honest, just to be able to get out on the course with me family and friends.
Yeah, great answer, mate. Great answer. No, Pete, it's been amazing spending some time with you. It's great to catch up. So I hope everyone who's been listening has got a great insight or much better insight into the amazing world of Peter Finch. So you've done remarkably well for yourself. It's been amazing having you on this call. Thanks so much for giving up your time. You've done remarkably well from those truly memorable days at Lilleshall Hall. No, I joke aside. Joking aside, you are a genuinely lovely guy. I saw that, when we worked together, and I think you're a bit harsh on yourself there, saying you're useless. You're okay. You're pretty good, and but no, you've gone on to do unbelievable things. So I wish, on behalf of myself and all the team at the Three Hammers, we wish you all the very best, pal. And we look forward to catching up with you soon.
Cheers, mate. Thanks very much. Yeah, looking forward to it.
So thanks so much there to Pete for such an insightful interview. It's great to reminisce, great to catch up, and awesome there to hear some of the stories along the way. Now it's competition time. So Pete and myself are giving you and a mate the opportunity to come along to the Three Hammers to be our special guest for the day in a battle to take on Pete and me. So you and a friend, special guest at the Three Hammers to take on Peter Finch and myself. Simply share the video, share this post, or subscribe to our YouTube channel to be in the chance to take on Pete and myself. Thanks so much for watching. Stay safe, everybody, and we look forward to seeing you soon. Thank you.